What's up guys, this is Jake with RSP, and today we're going to be covering debuffs. As some of you know, I've already done a video on this, but we're remaking it. I want to make it better quality. So anyways, getting into it. Alright, I just want to cover my own budget before we get into it. I do a cake for every event, and the only time I'll do a full cake is during a super event, which is going on right now at the time of this recording. These debuffs that we're going to be covering today are mainly going to be on Arch, Siege, and Cav, and it's going to be on attack and HP. Not really concerned with ground, not really concerned with defense. You'll get those debuffs, but I don't go out of my way to get them. You know, I don't chase them in the same way that I chase the other ones. You know, I don't claim to be God or anything. I'm just showing off what works for me, right? All right, let's get into it. Okay, so right here we have a kind of recent report. This is where Neo started hitting me. He only hit me with a Siege. I don't have an Arch attack report from him. Siege HP is right around 1700. Cav HP is 1465. Cav attack, you can see there. Arch attack was, it cut him in half because it was too low. I think I'm around 27, maybe 2800 now. I've done some small changes since then. I've moved around some gear, so I just wanted to show off where I was at. All right, so I'm gonna be bouncing around all areas of the keep here to show off where you can get different debuffs from. I'm not gonna be including Ideal Land, not gonna be including red subs. So yeah, those two things are just kind of really unrealistic for regular players to get. I'm kind of blessed on here with my teammates giving me some red subs, but you know, it's unrealistic. And then Ideal Land, holy crap. It costs so much money, right? All right, so let's start out with something really good then. Let's go to the sub gens real quick. Everyone loves that. So you're gonna see a lot of repeating gear here, like this chest plate, these boots, and this weapon, and this ring. They'll kind of repeat all around. You know, I'll just kind of quickly go over them. The ring, you're getting Arch attack debuff. Really necessary. The boots, you're getting Cav and Siege attack debuff. Those are awesome. The chest right here, I'm using it because I want to go after Archer attack debuff. I could be using a different chest plate, especially if I had 6 out of 6 of the Akmade on here, but I've chosen to go after Arch attack debuff. And the weapon here, you get some Cav HP. On the Civ gear, you can see the 2 out of 6 set attribute that gives an HP debuff. The gear itself though goes after Arch and Siege HP, Arch attack, and over here we got some Siege HP, Siege attack, Arch attack. I'm also rocking the Wonder 1 dragon, I think he is. He gives a little bit of Cav HP debuff. This 5th spec, I don't have a lot of these, but if you do get some extra ones from, say, the Warrior boosting event or just buying the Flex Spec pack, these will work on your subs. So it's really cool if you have extra ones. So obviously you'd want to give priority to your PvP gens and your wall gens. You want to get them all suited up first before using your extra ones over here. So Hojo himself, he does a lot of debuff. He's really good for Arch and a little bit of Cav HP. He's really accessible to get as well, so it's not like he's some crazy guy like Zudi or Simon. Next up, we got Jan Carroll. Everyone loves him. So the weapon, we got some Arch attack and Cav HP. It's super hard to get Arch attack in a weapon slot. You know, that's why I'm using it. The chest, a lot of controversy here. People like using the full 6 out of 6 on their Siege gen. As a rally joiner, you know, I don't really give a I see that the Abyss chest has more attack percent, so I use that on my Siege gen, and that frees up this armor to go on to the sub for debuff. I'm also one of the only RSP keeps that's ever gonna get hit, you know, unless we're playing like Vigor All-Stars. Under normal circumstances, they're not touching anyone else, so I need all the debuff and all the help I can get. So it made sense for me. Over here, we got the Romulus boots. I really didn't want to use this because it just sucks. I feel like it sucks. You're cutting down on your debuffs here by using it, but you're also getting that HP debuff with the 2 out of 6. So I'm testing it out, see how it goes. And it's kind of hard to get Arch HP debuff in the boot slot, so that with the 2 out of 6. My Siege is just gonna die anyways, so I really want to defend against Archers. So I guess it makes sense for me. Then the helmet, we're going after Arch HP again. Pretty nice. The legs, I love these legs, they're awesome. So Arch and Siege attack, Arch and Siege HP. Augustus is awesome, and then the 2 out of 6 as well. And next up we got the bracers. You're going after Siege HP here and Siege attack, and then obviously the 2 out of 6. So Jan Carroll, he's still accessible. He's not quite as accessible as he used to be. He got removed from the Feasting Revelry event. That's where you could get copies of him. He's still in the Giant's Temple and some other spots like the Agalope. So he goes after Cav attack and Siege HP primarily. You know, he does a little bit of other stuff, but we're only really concerned about that. You get some all trip HP in there too. And there's the specs. And the rest of my subs are going to have these battle-tested ones at orange. Everyone should have a million of these. Next up, we got Baldwin, classic. There's that weapon again. This helmet will be repeating as well. He goes after Cav Attack. Going after Siege HP with these legs right here. Going after Siege and Arch HP. The Bourbon Boots, you're getting Arch Attack in a boot slot, so that's really hard to get. I was thankful to have this. Bourbon Chest, going after Siege and Arch HP. And some Arch Attack. So this is a really good piece to have too. Alright, so Baldwin, he goes after Arch and Siege Attack and some Siege HP too. So he's pretty cool. He's getting pretty outdated, but he's not quite there yet where I want to get rid of him. If something good comes out, you know, I'll probably throw him on the chopping block. Same thing as Baldwin. You know, if something new and better comes out, this guy will probably go. But Mark Antony, I really like him for now. So we're rocking that chest plate to get some Arch Attack debuff. Those boots from before, same weapon from before, same helmet. The fur and legs get some Arch and Siege Attack debuff. There is another leg piece where you can get Siege Attack debuff. I don't happen to have one on, but obviously you can get Cav Attack there as well. I use this because it's hard to get Arch Attack in a leg slot. And then that same ring, there's his specs, flex spec. And yeah, he goes after a bunch of Arch Attack and some Cav HP. And at the very end, he does have a Siege HP payoff, which is pretty cool. Alright, next up, one of many Simons that I have. So he's using basic gear. At a first glance, you're probably just like, Jake, you fucking dumbass, why aren't you using this to get 6 out of 6? And to you, I would say, oh, well, also that, so you could switch that. But the reason I'm choosing to break the set when I otherwise could have a full 6 out of 6 is because my keep cares about Arch Attack debuff more than anything else. The thing that's going to crack me is archers. So for me and my keep and keeps like mine, I'd recommend doing this. But yeah, same basic gear from before. So Simon, everyone knows, he does Arch and Siege Attack and Arch and Siege HP. Then if you level him up a little bit, you can get some baby Cav stats. He's honestly the GOAT. Next up, we got Zizka. Alright, so a different weapon going after Cav Attack. Same chest, same boots, same helmet, same legs. And now, because of the new set that came out, the Munso set, I can retire these bracers onto the sub for Siege HP debuff. Previously, these were on my second Siege General because of the Siege Machine attack range, but now the new Munso bracer can replace this. I used to have the Sasanian bracer on here. The Sasanian only did 22 Siege HP. This thing does double that. I don't want to also use the Sasanian bracer because I'd have to get rid of one of these rings. And like I was saying before, I care more about Arch debuffs than I do Siege. I'm just gonna have to play with things, see what happens. So Zizka, he does a bunch of Arch Attack and some Arch HP, and a little bit of Siege HP as well. He's really good when you get him leveled up fully. I wish he was more available. Okay, there's another Zizka. Only difference would be I'm using a Siege Attack weapon here, going after some Siege Attack debuff. Rest of it is all the same gear. And same thing with Simon. We're going after some range HP here. Alright, so the legs. Okay, so we're going after some Arch and Siege Attack right here. I love these legs. It's hard to get Arch Attack debuff in a leg slot. And then the same gear for the rest of it. Same general, already covered them. Alright, same, basically the same exact thing. Siege Attack weapon on the bow, and then we're going after some debuffs here with the Augustus pieces. So Augustus is awesome for that 2 out of 6 set attribute. For the chest itself though, it gives some Cav Attack, Arch Attack, Cav HP, and the boots, you're getting some Arch Attack debuff. Love to see that. And Siege, so it's really hard to get Arch Attack in these certain spots. Alright, another carbon copy Simon, you know, just the same gear that I've been mentioning before, same basic gear. Alright, now we got a Zoo D. He's got some Arch and Siege Attack and Siege HP. At the 1-star it does, and then also in the 4th spec it does. Alright, next up would be the Spirit Beast over here, so we'll go into here. So I don't know how to pronounce this dude's name, so I'm just gonna call him the Deer. So this Deer gives some Cav HP debuff. Very nice. The Bear, Otso, he gives some Cav HP debuff as well. The B16, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. Jorgemund or whatever. He's got some Arch Attack debuff and Siege HP. The Hottie, it's got some Cav Attack debuff. Siren, Arch Attack debuff. And Ninetail Fox, got some Cav HP debuff. So those 6 that I just mentioned, these 2 right here, Siren and Fox, and these first 4, these 6 sub-beasts are the only ones that matter to me. The rest of them honestly suck and they're forgettable. They're interchangeable. All right, moving along to something easy. So these Civ treasures, they actually do give some debuffs when you have them leveled up pretty well. So as you can see, you get some attack and HP debuff here, and they'll never be on the use to activate. They're all owned to activate. So you get arch attack debuff, cav attack debuff, and siege attack debuff. So those things are pretty easy. All right, right here in the art treasure, I think it's only the eagle one. Yeah. So this gives some all troop attack debuff. Pretty nice. All right, let's get into the champions then. Everyone loves this stuff too. Look at our lovely ladies. So she's got some cav HP debuff down here. Moving on, Minerva, arch attack debuff. Love it. Demeter has some siege HP debuff. Okay, Josephine, she's got some cav HP debuff. Esmeralda, she's got some arch and siege attack debuff. Love her. Dulcinea, she's got some cav HP debuff. Ariadne, that's the siege HP. Yep. So siege and arch HP. Then Elizabeth, we got some cav attack debuff. And Helen, we got all troop attack debuff. Love her. She's the OG. While I got you guys here on Civ gear, or while I'm not into my duty gens yet, we'll go look at the amplifications. So an amplification would be down here, the Star Atlas. So Plantagenet, you got some cav HP. Freedom, you got arch attack. Han Dynasty, you got arch HP. Corio, you got arch and siege attack. Bourbon, you got siege attack debuff. Augustus, we love to see this one. Siege HP debuff. And then also, you'll get the 2 out of 6 every time you use this on a sub-gen. Thebes set, you got some cav attack. I need to do mine for the debuff and the march size, but alright, Sass set, you got some cav attack debuff here. Romulus, we got some arch and siege attack, or arch and siege HP, my bad. And you get the 2 out of 6, similar to Augustus. And like I mentioned earlier, this thing is cracked and should be on your 2nd siege gen. Alright, let's go look at the Senate real quick. So Marshal level 3, when I get that up, that's gonna have some arch and siege attack debuff. It's pretty nice. And then going on to level 5, I won't really mention like level 5s too much because it does get pretty pricey, but you'd get all troop attack there as well. All right, leading senator. This one's pretty awesome for attacking, but it also does have some debuffs here. So like you get cav HP debuff at level 1, and then you get some cav attack debuff at level 2, and then all the way down level 5, you'd get all troops attack. All right, ruling senator. You get some cheap debuffs here, and I'm gonna do them pretty soon. You'd get arch attack at level 1, and then arch and siege attack at level 3 again. And level 5, it seems like everything on level 5 you get a little bit debuffed. And the position levels. So in these upgrade position levels at level like 10, 20, and 30, you'll be getting debuffs. I'm only really concerned with the siege and the arch ones, and only for particular skills. But if you go around the rest of the Senate, it'll be true for the rest of it. So as you can see, 10, 20, and 30. And there's 6 spots in the Senate, so, you know, a lot of debuffs to be had there. Getting to level 30 on anything is pretty unrealistic, you know? Like, I'm not even there yet on some really good ones, but, you know, 10 and 20, pretty realistic for some people. All right, let's go check out some dragons. All right, so we already covered this dude and his cav HP debuff if you put him on sub-gen. All right, so Layden's 3rd talent, and we're going to be looking at 3rd talent for all the rest of the dragons. So you'll get some cav HP debuff and cav attack debuff. Pretty nice. So you'll get some arch and siege attack debuff. Love this guy. It's probably my favorite dragon. Not for any buffs or anything, just how it looks. It's pretty cool. Over to Ziz. Love him. I'm too broke to make him into an actual cav gen, so I just use him as a little debuff activator. You get some all troop enemy HP right here. Love that. All right, moving on to the regular dragons over here. So another sub-gen dragon, Radiant Worm. You can put on, get some siege HP debuff. I think it goes up to minus 30 when you're at 20. It doesn't really show me here, but yeah, minus 30 when you're at level 20. And then Facile, love this dragon. So this will be arch attack debuff here. Pretty good, don't overlook it. Let's do military tactics. So in the ground, we're only going to be talking about the owned activate breakthroughs, okay? So obviously you can drill as well, but that's only attached to the certain march, whereas these breakthroughs are owned to activate and they're all around your keep. So in the ground one, we got some all troop attack debuff, arch and siege HP debuff, pretty nice. The arch one, is really good for its attacking stats and the debuff that you get. So it's all troop HP debuff. And then over in the siege section, you'd get siege HP debuff. Very nice, and that increases a little bit more, and you'll get range HP debuff too. I want to quickly cover something on for 5th specialties. So right here, my wall gens, we're rocking Iron Curtains at orange. So if you get them up to gold, they'll do attack debuff as well. But at orange, we got them doing all troop HP. So I use them on the wall right now, but if I had any extra, I'd go put them on the subgens. Not any of these, but you know, the real good ones up here. Okay, getting back into it. Duty gens. Alright, so we got Blanche. She's doing some all troop HP. Alright, Niwa would be all troop HP when you get leveled up. Otto the Great, he's got some Arch and Siege attack and HP as well, all troop HP. This guy is a throwback. Alright, John Hackwood, brand new guy. Love to see him. He's got some Arch and Siege attack. This dude's awesome. I want to get him up a little bit more. Alright, Guinevere, she's got some Arch and Siege HP. She's pretty sweet. Alright, Maurice. He's got some Arch and Siege attack and HP. It's pretty awesome. Okay, Ashoka would have some Cav HP debuff. Gonna be kind of hard for me to get her up. Or I guess it's a dude, right? Must be from Thailand. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get him up to 4 stars. Alright, this dude, Heraclius. Love him. Look at all that HP debuff that you get just from that spec. That's crazy. Classic GOAT. And then he also does a little bit of other debuff here, like all troop defense, but I don't really care about that. If you got him to 3-star though, you could get some more HP debuff. Alright, Michael would give some arch attack debuff, but it's gonna be kind of hard to get him up to 3 stars. You have to really go out of your way to spend for that nowadays. Alright, Trivia, she's got some arch and siege attack debuff. Right here, the spec. Pretty accessible. There's a reason they call him Stefan the Great, because he is pretty great. I know, it's corny as shit. Alright, so he's got some arch and siege attack debuff, as you can see. And then he'd also do a little bit more siege attack debuff as you get him up, but you know, it's really unrealistic. Alright, Clovis, we got some Cav HP and some siege attack debuff. Alright, Liu Bei, you get a little bit of siege HP debuff, I think. Yeah, okay, so it's Arch and Siege HP debuff. Yeah, and then obviously if you leveled them up like crazy, you'd get even more debuff, but we ain't that rich. So some gens that I don't have that I might want to get in the future would be like Themistocles. He does some debuff as well, but he really does a lot more defensive buffs. So that's why I want him. So another one would be Ono. You need to get him for the Forge Officer. He does a little bit of Cav HP debuff. Yeah, he's pretty nice. He's cracked. Alright, wrapping it up with some boring stuff. We'll go look at the Blazons, I guess. So, you can be really picky with your set that you choose. So for Siege, I'm getting a little bit of debuff here with all troop attack. The Arch set, I get a little bit of Cav defense, and on the ground set I get some Cav attack debuff. And again, I'm a defensive keep, right? Alright, so the last thing that I'm gonna be looking at would be Universal Covenants on some of these generals. So Andre Messina, you got Arch and Siege attack debuff. Pretty nice. He's kind of hard to get. Hunyadi, there he is. So he does Siege HP and Arch HP. Is the Universal Covenant right here. Take effect unconditionally. Don't know where the hell okay, there he is. He does Arch attack debuff. Whoa. Oh, did I dismantle a guy? Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm such a noob. I dismantled this dude for some reason. I knew he was in a covenant somewhere. Damn, man. That's embarrassing. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Maybe I'll show off a couple events here, actually, that you guys can look forward to. So the Lucky Bag event, you could get a bunch of these little twigs, and that could go towards your Senate stuff, where you could get a little bit of debuffs. Also, the Trivia event, where you can get Baby Girl over here. She did some debuffs that we mentioned before. You also want to look out for the Warrior boosting event. That would come in between events. That's how I can get some flex specs and, you know, 5th specialties for pretty cheap. Another one would be the Dragon Pattern event, so that you can go and get your fast ult for his talent, and many more. I'll leave a couple in the description here. It'd be a lot to go over, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be pumping out more content like this over the next couple months. So yeah, leave a comment, you know, drop a like, share it with your friends. all that classic shit. It gives us motivation, you know, when we see these videos doing all right. So yeah, if you could, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys. See you later.